What's up, y'all? It's your boy Carcino here. Put your seatbelt on. Strap in. Because this is it. You have been lied to by the people who battle it was. Nas and Jay Z has lied to you. Sway lied to you. They all, well, he probably didn't lie. He just probably didn't know. Because a lot of them just don't know. You think because they on the radio they know. They don't know nothing. They just know what the rapper tell them. So they don't know anything about nothing. But you want to know how the Jay and Nas beef got started? You want to know what it was about? Get ready, because this is the truest story ever reported on the entire everything. Now, let's go back to the beginnings. That's the best way to do it. Stillmatic, one of the best albums to ever come out in '94. Smashed everything in New York. Everybody was, whoa. This dude, he was the rapper's rapper. Nas, the voice, everything. Just killed it. Laser every song. Now, people were still buzzing because of Wu-Tang Clan, Method Man, so everybody had the fangs. But it was really West Coast time. Snoop, Dre, killing it. So nobody was trying to hear anything from the East Coast at that time. Nobody was even buying that many East Coast records. Like, if you did 1 million, lucky. You know, nobody was doing that but the Wu-Tang Clan in '94. So, Method. So, after this, you know, Nas got street appeal. And Jay Z, he was in the Iggity fad. You know, the Iggity is what they call the style, like back with the Fushnikins and Lord of the Undergrounds. They used to use the, like, I'm taking it, shaking it, breaking it, making it, you know, like, I'm jigging the J, jigging the A, jigging the Y, Z, the original rap, you know, the bounce. But they used to call it the Iggity. And that's what everybody was putting at the end of their rhyme. I'm taking it, I'm shaking it, I'm breaking it. You know, so that's the style you heard Jay use before. This is old rap style. He heard Stillmatic, loved Stillmatic. I mean, he could repeat songs. Jay, like, he wrote it, and like almost in a non-style flow. Then he did a remix to a song he already did, where he already was doing his Iggity style to. He did a remix and slowed it down and came up with whole new lyrics, called him a Lifetime, and that was the introduction to the other side of Jay Z. It was like the first, well, dudes are shooting stupid, I'm carefully plotting. You know, he was doing his Iggity style then on the flip side, he was calm, like conversating. I know the wrongs, know the risks, know the wrong, know my rights, and now I'm incarcerated from my line. You know, he was more relaxed in telling the stories. You know, trying to be basically like a Slick Rick or Nas. Because the Iggity style was dying. That style was basically dead after '94. You know, so Jay was having to go to a new style. So he started to rap and try to flow like Nas. You know, just more subtle. So they called it like conversation rap. They didn't know what to call or label Jay Z, so they called him the conversation rapper. So it wasn't translating over, because they've already had basically Nas. So when that come out, everybody's anticipating Nas' second album. But at this time, before Nas is dropping, you know, he's in the firm. He's got Foxy Brown, he's got AZ's, and they're the firm. Jay Z writes for Foxy Brown, and so does Nas. You know, Foxy didn't write that many raps. She can deliver. Her deliveries was sweet, but she needed somebody to write the rhymes. She was still in high school. So, you know, Foxy, you know, listening to Nas and listening to Jay, and then she was like, what do you, Jay be like, what Nas write for you? Oh, I'm saying this. Oh, that's tight. And every verse that Jay would write for Foxy, hoping that he'll get on. Like Nas would say something and like, man, dude is ill, you know, I'm gonna help him get his thing like really blown up. You know, he would have loved that, or him to do a song with him. That'd have been cool. So he wanted to impress Nas. So he was always write some verse for Foxy, and it will always be big up in Nas. That's how you could basically tell if you listen to any Foxy Brown song, and then she be rapping like on the it's on the Fern album, and then she's talking about, look at this nigga thinking he Nas. You know, the whole flow was Jay Z, because she actually used the Iggy style sometimes. That's the way Jay rapped it, and the way the style was. So at this time, Nas is ruling because It Was Written come out, it blows up. I mean, it blew up to lights of, it passed Biggie, Ready to Die, because Biggie brought the East Coast back. So when the East Coast came back, him and Craig Mack brought it back, and Puffy. So when Bad Boy brought it back, everybody who dropped, like Nas, put Lauren on the track. Fuji was already large, so them putting Lauren on there was just killed it. It just destroyed everything. So he took over rap. And I mean, every song on there, you had the Streets dudes, Satisfied, everybody. It Was Written was crazy. Just the craziest album, period. So Nas is ruling. And Jay come out with his Reasonable Doubt, which was cool because it went back to the soul sounds. So Jay got the soul samples on there, but you drop it with Fugees, Lauren, Mobb Deep, Nas, Lil' Kim. You can't compete when you just Jay Z from Brooklyn. It just was not finna take off, and you still got a Machiavelli album coming out. You know, it's like, man, they crushed him. You know, I got the original Reasonable Doubt before it came out. I caught Reasonable Doubt. See, back then they had hip hop record stores where you can, if you knew people, they had it already right before the release date. I copped it right out of the box, cause that's the kind of dude I am. I'm really hip hop. You ain't gonna find nobody that can tell you that I don't know anything about hip hop or what I'm talking about. Ben and the Meg, we know. But this is what we finna break down to you, is where it's soured. But you have to learn it from the beginning. That's why we breaking everything down to you, so you don't miss any of it. Now, Biggie dies after It Was Written was out. Tupac was going to come at Nas, but he squashed it with Nas, and a week later he's dead. So it's like he still had beef with Nas. So those two are gone. Nas is the only biggest selling record that's a solo that's out there. He's the only one out there that's left, is Nas. So naturally Nas will be the one to take the lead. But here comes Jay Z, and he comes out with this The City Is Mine on his volume 1. And this is like right after Big died, he recorded this song. Like, I say like a week later. And the song sounded a bit disrespectful, you know, like, you know, homeboy, let me get them rings, you know, I'm gonna take that chain and I'm gonna rep this, you know, like, yeah, the city is mine. And MCs, the fans, everybody took offense to that song, to the album. They had some songs they liked, a lot of them they didn't. I had no problem with Volume 1. Just, I don't listen to Sunshine anyway, but it's some songs on there that are great. And it didn't get its appreciation until when they came out with Streets Is Watching, to try to really illustrate to y'all what that album really was, and y'all slept. They made videos and put them on the streets as watching DVD, which everybody had. But during that time, you know, Jay and them, they was going to the clubs, popping bottles, you know, doing the thing with the champagne. They had the Renee and Angie samples. They was doing it big. Then Nas and his baby mom, they're not dating. They break up. Nas is big now. He's going around dating celebrities now. Celebrity women and messing around with chicks. And so his girls, she out messing around. Next thing you know, they all hang out in the same type of spots, environment. She running to Jay Z. So her and Jay are talking and like, oh yeah, and no one think nothing of it because Jay and Nas at this time, they cool. They don't hang out, but they know each other. They doing the same industry. They cool. But Nas is touring. You know, he's really, really busy. He's getting ready to film Belly, and he's getting ready to drop another album, which was supposed to be a double album. The I Am album was supposed to be double CD. They had this big marketing plan for Nas, and they have the Firm album coming out. They got all this stuff going on with Nas. He's so busy, he got no time to really pay attention because the whole East Coast is hanging on his shoulders at this time. So when the Firm album dropped is when Volume 1 was finna drop. And Nas is only on a couple of songs, but then he got like everybody on the East Coast on there. Because everybody, Capone and Noriega really shines on there. Like everybody was, so they called it the Fern Flop. It had the most production of any CD that I can remember in anybody's time. If you go get the CD and look at the back and see how many producers, how many record companies was involved in making that album, you would think the budget was like $20-30 million. But they said that the album flopped. The album sold over 1 million records. It's just that you didn't have a Foxy Brown, AZ, and Nas on every track. You had one track, maybe 2 tracks, or 3 tracks total with all of them. And then that's it. Nas is basically out off the album. And then it's just a free fall with all these other people just supposed to be the firemen. They just all together because everybody's like, man, we finna eat off this. So Jay was writing for Fox. Everything was going good. And Foxy Brown comes out with her album. And blew up. And that's how Jay kind of rolled Foxy on in. With I'll Be Good and all these other songs he was writing for her on her first album. So Jay's already getting writer credits and doing real good, and things is going okay. But he's talking to Nas' baby moms, and then they at a party. Nas ain't there. Jungle and Nature at the party. Jay got a drink, and he only see Carmen, so he coming direct line straight to Carmen with the drink. She freeze. She's froze, and Jungle and Nature was there, and they like kind of peeped and observed it. And then Nature was like, man, I think, because he saw them at the last second, then he turned to get a drink to somebody else. And was like, oh, here. He was like, man, I think he was going to try to get at the calm. Then he's like, nah. I'm like, like, I'm tripping, like, I'm reaching. You know, like, that wasn't finna happen. And so she just played it off, but she was like, man, I was close. We almost got caught. Because at that time, they was full out dating and messing around. So Nas still don't know. It's not like Nas is like, man, like being a total sucker. You know, he's out of town. He's gone for months. He's not living with her. You know, they might mess around every now and then, but he's not living with her. He don't really know what she's doing. He knows she goes out all the time. And this is why he basically, like, I can't deal with this. Because Nas basically was like, you stay at home with the kid. I'm going to go out and rap, and I might bang some chicks and do what I do. And she was not a stay-home chick. She was a girl that liked to go to the clubs and get wild. That's how you met her. In the streets. So Anyway, back to the story. They sit up there and the album come out, the Firm didn't do well. After the Firm didn't do well, Dre's no longer working with Nas, so he was not gonna be on the I Am album. Everybody's going in a different direction, and people are like, man, I'm not gonna do this and that, and Nas is like zoning out on his album. Then his album gets leaked. Like the songs he already had done got leaked. So you got 5-6 songs, and if you buy the lost tapes, most of those songs are from some of the majority of those songs are from the I Am album. All them bangers, like Blazer 50, all of those songs, you know, those were I Am album. I mean, songs that got leaked. So when that happened, it was like, oh man, you know. So it was basically, we're gonna stick with Nas's life. We're gonna take some of the songs that's just gonna have to come out, because this was it was his coming out song. So he replaced these other songs with people with like DMX, Scarface. You know, he replaced a lot of songs on there, but I Am is still one of the illest albums in hip hop, period. And I don't know what dumb people thinking, like, he fell off. How did he fall off? That album was incredible. I mean, Aaliyah, the song he did with Aaliyah, this song is incredible. I mean, I just don't understand what people, they let hype and talk rule them. They have no mind of their own. Somebody else say it, they just back it up and be like, well, since a lot of people say it, I'm going to agree with it. And it's just stupid. They have no mind of their own. But anyway, that album comes out, and on that album, Nas takes a shot at Jay Z on the We Will Survive, on his tribute to Biggie and Pac. He speaks on the fact that these dudes claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that. These dudes is wrong, using your name in vain, and they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that. It's more serious. And when he said that, everybody was, yeah, because they knew it was about Jay Z, and they was already pissed that Jay did that. But Jay had already blew up with Hard Knock Life, and he was crushing everything, so he had the money to go with the mouth. Jay is like, well, I'm bigger than Nas now. So Nas want to take a shot at me? Okay, I got his baby mom. So what does Jay do? Jay comes out with a song that was supposed to be on Volume 3. And it was called Is That Your Chick? And when it comes out, he's talking about a time where him and Carmen was sitting on the balcony, and they was discussing having a baby. It's like she wanted to be with him, but Jay was, once he really blew, he ain't had no time for no Carmen no more. He was banging, doing what Nas was doing. So she knew she was finna get played. And the verse was so direct. It was, but Nas never knew. At this point, he didn't even know yet. You know, why you home alone? Why she out with me in the hotel balcony? I got your girl saying you can call the house for me. It's no respect at all. You gotta check it, dog. She keep begging me to hit it wrong so she can have my kids and said it was yours. How foul is she? And you wiped her and made me put the rubber on tighter. So y'all know the verse, but that's all talking to Nas about his baby mom. Jay right now will never do that verse again because he took it out of the song. Like when he do it on concert, he never does that verse. Out of respect, he never does that verse again. So at this time, the song is out, it's banging, and it's on Memphis Bleek's album, but not on what's the name's album, on Nas's album. I mean on Jay's album that it was supposed to be. So the single is out, But that song is on now that it's on Bleak's album and not on Jay's. Jay's album finna get ready to come out. Nas got 2 albums dropping that year. He dropped I Am. Now he's dropping Nostradamus. And in between that period, Carmen told Nas she was dating Jay. And this is when it was broken up. Like, I dated him, but it's over now. And we dated off and on for a couple years. Now, when she said years, like for about a year or two, Nas feel heated. Because now it's like, oh, okay. And Carmen was like a woman scorned. She wanted to be with Jay. She thought Jay really was into her like that. And then when he blew, she got played. She really like found out where her position with him was going to be. It was never going to be more than what it was. And she felt salty. So then she want to run to Nas and tell Nas. Nas goes down to Baseline Studios. And he's ready to fight. He's ready to fight Jay Z. Dame Dash comes up there and says, "Man, dude, he's not here, man. He's not here, man. Just go home, man. Don't do nothing crazy, man. It ain't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? This is not even worth it. He's not here. I mean, just go home, fam. I'll feel you. You know, him and Nas and Dame talked for about 20-30 minutes about it. Nas went there by himself. And I dare, if you got anybody who know Dame Dash or got Dame Dash to confirm that, if y'all don't want to think I'm full of mess, go hit Dame up, ask him, did Nas go down to Baseline Studios to fight Jay Z when he found out? And Dame came down and talked to him and cooled him out. And Nas left. Don't see? These are stuff they don't even tell you about. Now, the Nostradamus album comes out. It's a track on there called "Come Get Me" by Nas. And the second verse, cause Nas know now. And when the second verse hit and it comes out, "You don't like me, clown? Or you gonna take me down when I bring my face around? You gonna do what? You clearly knew I blew up. I've been shining. Baseball diamond, ring for your chitlins. Niggas know what my 9 pearl handle's about. What you say, girly mouth? Get it crumb like the dirty sauce. Then I know you see me flossed out most of million. See your girl talk about me, you give it a cold eye. Girls dig you, imagine what she feels for me. You make hot songs, but she know you steal from me. Who ill is me? I rode on haters in album 3. Next album, I take y'all dudes to 3D. Can't find nobody shook for Queens. I'll be with the most grimy killers, and they all look clean. To put bomb underneath cars. If you want beat, then start your next trips to the graveyard." Now, when he dropped that verse, you knew he was talking to Jay. But y'all missed it. Y'all missed all this. So when this was dropped, and it was dropped hard, Jay is coming out. Jay Z comes out, goes to the promoting the Volume 3 album, and then he got a song on there that came out like right after Nostradamus. So right before the album goes in for mastering and he gotta submit it, Jay's waiting to hear Nas's response because he knows that Nas know about him and Carl. So when that go off and he hears "Come Get Me," Jay Z on Volume 3 has a song with the same title called "Come and Get Me." And the first, y'all don't understand, "Come and Get Me" changes. it's a freestyle in the beginning for Nas. What he said, what he said, come and get me, let me see. I'll remove your roof and let the sun shine in. When I got the gap tucked, I'm fat, ignorant bastard. I take it back to day one. No kids, but trust me, I know how to raise a gun. For y'all who think I live my life in the sun, but here's the shock in your life. The homie, not the night noon. I'm not in the light, baby. I'm still street. People still up, I still creep. Don't like I'm just like, I forgot how it goes, but he's like, people look like I'm sweet, but I'm still street. When you say S. Carter turn rappers into martyrs, I separate fathers from their daughters. Why bother? I'm a crook like you. I took like you. I came up the game throughout the book like you. How dare you look at Jigga like I'm shook like who? I keep a fifth with me. Come and get me. Come and get me. And it's funny because he's like mocking Nas song. If you ill, come get me, cause I ain't running. If you come something ill, we'll both be gunning. Come get me if you real, cause I ain't scared. This love, peace, and war, we could take it there. You know, so it was like just total comedy to what Nas is doing. Nas was serious on his, and Jay was like clowning him. Come and get me, come and get me. But see, you guys didn't know any of this was going on. So after all of this is going on, the beef is still hot between the two. Jay is sending his goons out there because he's trying to basically promote them by using Nas as the gas. So it's Memphis Bleak versus Nas. You know, he's sending Memphis Bleak out there. Then, you know, they out there dissing Mobb Deep and like, we taking it over, we destroying, we coming out the Queensbridge. You know, and like, we going out to Mobb Deep and all of them because he was gearing up to go to war with these dudes because Prodigy's been raining on him. But he didn't want to battle Mobb Deep until Mobb Deep sold almost 3 million records with Quiet Storm. He's been calling Jay Z a coward for years. Prodigy has, because Jay was talking like New York been soft since Snoop came in and crushed the buildings. It was like, what are you talking about? We was out there warring with Pac and everybody else. You was hiding. So, you know, it was just the way, the attitude that they took to it. So at that time, the beef was really like brewing, but Jay was doing this as a master plan. And when Prodigy album came out, as the Dynasty album came out, and it didn't do too good. You know, Quiet Storm just dumped all over basically the Dynasty. You know, Jay looked at the Dynasty as a flop. You know, even though it sold 500,000. You know, Prodigy album came out. Jay's album sold 500,000 in the first week, but when Prodigy came out with the HNIC album, his album just went gold anyway because he ain't had no commercial hits. He wasn't trying to do that, and he was just going in hard on Jay. And when he was like, there's no competition, I'm the #1 album of 2000 because your shit sucks. I mean, basically, he just dumped on Jay. So Jay was like, once his album just did gold and didn't take off, like everybody thought Prodigy was going to sell like 2 million records. I don't know why they thought that. But once it did what it did, Jay was like, oh, dude ain't on my level. He's like, I'm going to take care of him. So when he did that, he wanted to touch Nas, just throw a jab at Nas so people would let Nas come and battle him. Because Jay always was like, this is the setup. Nas can't respond or Nas won't battle me. Because if Nas battles me, I'ma use his baby moms. That is the go-to right there. That's, he know I know about that and the public don't. So Nas ain't gonna want to go there. He gonna keep it the way it's been going. Like, just nobody know what's going on. He drop a line dissing me, I drop a line dissing him. But Nas dropped a wicked freestyle on Eye for an Eye. You know, freestyle. And he was just venting out on Jay Z. You know, just really ticked off about everything that's going on. And if anybody can remember when Nas came down to the radio station and he talked about, hey man, let's keep everything on wax. Got the Jay Z brought everybody Rockefeller down to take over Flex. The next week Nas came down there. So y'all knew it was brewing. At this point, it was brewing to blow up. So what happened was, after the takeover, after the Summer Jam, and he did what he did, Jay hadn't submitted the album in for mastering. The verses for Takeover was done. It's 3 verses that was done. It was all about Prodigy on the Takeover. And he wasn't even addressing all the other people that was dissing him and taking shots. He didn't even care. He just threw the one Nas line at the end. That was it. There was no Nas verse. Nas took the bait. Now, Jay did not submit Blueprint in for mastering because he was waiting. He was waiting. That's why he didn't send the song in to be, the album in to be completed, because he wanted to wait to see if Nas make a response. And Nas talked to Chuck, who was like Rakim's main guy. You know, he called up Nas and like, Nas, man, you gotta respond. Your career is over, son. Your career is over. So Nas called up Rakim, because Chuck and Rakim is right hand man. So he called him up like he thinking this is what Ra think too. So Rakim's talking to him like, man, you know, y'all gonna battle. Sometimes it ain't cool to go and do this, because if you do, don't let the public gas you up to do something and get you out there. You know, do what you gotta want to do it for you. Because if you doing it for somebody else, then you gonna be lost in limbo. Public gonna send you off. And he was like, all right, good looking. So he thought about it for a minute and he went and dropped the Stillmatic freestyle. Just a small record. But at this time, Jay got so much power and influence at the radio station, like only certain radio stations would play it. You know, Hot 97 wouldn't even play the song, the Stillmatic disc. So it wasn't getting no pull. But Jay, it was enough where Jay could respond to that song and put it on the Takeover. So when the Takeover album song come on, and the album has got this Nas verse, Jay Z is responding to everything in the Stillmatic freestyle. Yeah, I sampled your voice. He's talking about what he was saying in there. You sample my voice, I rule you. You know, everything he said in the Stillmatic freestyle about Jay was addressing in the in the Takeover song. But what he did strategically backfired on him, because it looked like he started it and came out with the verse, because nobody really heard the Stillmatic freestyle, because he had it submerged off the radios. So because you knocked it off the radios and it was only on mixtapes, basically, the underground, the people in the streets knew, but the overall fans just know you came out with Takeover. So this plays in your disadvantage, because when it came out, it was slick to the point, and you know who, did you know what, would you know who, and everybody was like, whoa, what is that? You know, but everybody else knew, like, oh, okay, he's trying to say, you say something or say something else, boom, I'm coming out with it. That's my ace in the hole. But Nas isn't stupid. He knows you're gonna do that. He knows that's your ace in the hole. You never tell nobody you got the ace. You hit him with it. when it's at the last point, you bring that point out. You don't flash the gun. You bring that out last. Because people know, like, okay, he finna come with his main finishing weapon. But when somebody know it's coming, they can prepare for it. Nas had already been going through the PR of, we barely talk, she's not with me. You know, he's doing that to get close to me before. Then he goes into the magazine because he knows Jay's going to read this. I don't even want a war. I just want to make a great album. This all beef stuff is crazy. You know, it was a good move by him getting me to take the bait, but I'm not even focused on it no more. I don't even want none of this battle stuff. So he does the Source magazine interviews, and he's, you know, I'm not getting involved. I'm just gonna make a album, and that's it. It's gonna be, I'm going back Stillmatic, and this is this. So basically, Jay is feeling like, I did it. I won. I'm number one. I'm reigning. And he was confident. He was really confident. Then, oh my God, the nitron bomb was lit. My cousin came and got me and said, did you hear Nas's response? And my other cousin had the CD. He had Nas' whole CD. And the song had been out maybe for a day in New York. And he was, my God, this is it. I'm like, what is this? It's called Ether. And I was like, my goodness. And for those who didn't get what Ether meant, Ether, and anybody who knows any powerful drug dealers who move metrotons of cocaine and drugs, and they need it cut real fast, they use the chemical ether because it cuts it real fast and breaks it down. Ether dissolves. It's a liquid. It's a highly explosive liquid, but it dissolves and breaks down cocaine. Jay Z was known as the cocaine rapper. So there's all he rap about is cocaine and drugs. So he's the cocaine rapper. So the ether was gonna burn and break down the cocaine rapper. That's why the song was called Ether. A lot of y'all don't get that because y'all didn't understand where Nas is going and how deep the mind is, and it's hip hop. Hip hop people get it right away. But that's why it was Ether. That's why it was called Ether, and it was perfect. Perfect name, perfect everything. Song, we don't even need to go there. One of the most factual diss songs in history. Totally crushed Jay Z's ego, everything. That he couldn't even function. He tried to come back with a response so quick, and he sounds so, you know, like a desperate man in a freestyle battle when you know you got him beat and he's just up there just trying to find a bar, some bar to pull him out this slump and this hole that he keep digging himself in, and he's just up there saying words and he's just dying, and you're like, oh man, it's over, and he won't cave in. That's how it was with Jay and Nas. And see, after Ether, Nas knew, I don't have to respond again. Because see, Nas didn't have a reputation of being a battle rapper. But in order to beat Jay Z, he knew he couldn't be philosophy, come with all the philosophy. He had to come to Jay's level, use sort of like Jay's style, and beat him at a simple rap style by sunning him. And you son Jay Z by saying, I made it and I did it before you. Like, I am Nas. You are not me. Your whole career is fabricated. It's not authentic. You're artificial. And when you say that in a rhyme, and that's basically what Ether was saying, you are an artificial rapper. I am authentic. That's what Ether was. You was finding the difference between Nas and Jay Z. Right there. On one song. And it was felt throughout the country. England, everybody, UK, they loved the song. They didn't even know what it meant. And then there was a beat that no one had ever heard before. You never heard that beat on any other song. You never heard it used. You never heard it. It was new. And it was to the point. It was simple and brutal. The sound of it. That Ether became a term for somebody who got schooled. Man, you got Ether. He ethered you. Dude, it's... And for any Jay Z fan that's trying to hold on to the candle and the light, he won. He didn't win. He didn't win. And Super Ugly was not the response to make. When Super Ugly came out, and Jay Z made about 3-4 more other Nas diss songs, it made him look pathetic. Then it gets to the point where now it's going from pathetic to, okay, he finally got a song that he should have put out when he came out with the Blueprint 2 intro. When he came out with that. But he was so distracted that he ruined that Blueprint 2 album. Ruined it. He was so in a slump, in a hole, he couldn't dig himself out. So he was just like, I finally got it now. This is the right song to make. And that's how he should have came at Nas. Nas had to tell him, this is how you should battle me. This is what you should have said. And then he said, like, okay. And then he came with it, but it's like, now it's too late. But that's what you should have said. But now it's too late. But that is what you should have said. So now Blueprint 2 comes out, and it was okay. It was a little, I mean, he has some points on it, but Nas just throws jabs at him every now and then and just break him down to minerals and to pieces and just let him know that I'm still Nas and you're not. And he would do it on every song. He would drop like a little bars. First of all, this is Nas, I'm a Braveheart veteran. And y'all already know who I'm better than. All that stuff was with pokes Jay. It was just poking him, driving him crazy. And like, what's his name? What he said, I was brought up off that, I was brought up off that Planet Rock. James Todd Smith, Curtis Blow, Shannon Scott, Lil Rock in them jams. How could y'all mess with a John? Jehovah Witness. Him and his co-defendants are eating like Lucky Charms. With 2% low-fat milk, I'm 5% pro-black built. It's another mother, after mother. I don't think about him, man. He talking. It's a lot of gossip like I'm a prophet and I can't go back to my project. Oh, man. Dude, I'm telling you. It's not even comparable. The difference between the two MCs is not even comparable. Jay is a great MC. Nas is the best you've heard in a very long time. You haven't heard an MC like him. You ain't gonna hear it now. Like, but Nas can go there and give it to you. So that's the difference. Now from then, and with different eras, that's just the difference right there. Nas is essential. Jay is artificial. Just giving you the gist of it right now. And you look at where they are right now today. it says everything. I mean, the fact that they came together and didn't go to war or didn't try to kill each other, you know, that says a lot. They took the big step. But you never gonna hear a story this complete with all the details in it. Everything about the beef, how it started, how they was all cool. You know, I know it's pretty long, but I hope you got the results you was waiting for in the end. I ain't gonna keep y'all no more than I need to. But I'm out.